Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
Man, I tell you, it's good to see you again. Good to be in another virtual taping and setting things in place for our community. It's good to be with you.
Yeah, likewise. And we're just surviving COVID-19 and finding new ways to reach people.
If it had not been for the Lord on our side, I don't know where we would be, believe me.
Amen, amen. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. We certainly appreciate you. We have great guests coming up here in just a little bit to satisfy your culinary palate.
Yes, soul food, brother, soul food.
Out on the Far East side of Indianapolis.
Yes, sir, Far East. There are some good things on the Far East side.
Absolutely. Dr. Moore, share with us our sponsors.
Our sponsor, Lee Cossell and Crawley, are with us. We also have Fervent Care Christian Academy doing a great job with young people, even in the midst of COVID-19. And not only that, we have Al's Modern Clothing and Shoes here as a sponsor, but not only Al, we also have the Marion County Public Health Department, who's doing a great job in combating COVID-19 in the main area, which is the epicenter right here in Marion County.
And certainly our prayers are up for all of our sponsors and all of those of you who are in our viewing audience. I want to encourage you to go to WHMB TV 40 on YouTube. You can watch this show when it's finished, as well as others that you might have missed. And of course, Dr. Moore, they can check us out on Facebook.
Yes, sir. That's where we are. You can check us out on Facebook and like us there. The very first show is there. Matter of fact, very first show was with Dr. Virginia Kane, I believe.
Yeah.
So go check us out and watch some of the shows, and we hope you'll be blessed in the process.
And watch her show. As I understand it, the County Health Department now has a show.
Yes, she does, and we ought to be praying for her because that's a beautiful thing to see her talking about the medical condition of our city on a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
So we have a lot coming up for you on today. His Place Eatery, and Mr. James Jones is going to be joining us here in just a few moments to talk about all the wonderful things that are going on over there before we know you get out there and take your family and go eat. So stay with us. Be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
Co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
We're joined by Mr. James Jones, co-owner of His Place Eatery on the Far East side of Indianapolis. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Happy to have you, James.
Pleasure to have
Thank you.
Give us that address. I'm saying Far East side of Indianapolis, but if you could let people know exactly where they can get to you.
Okay, we are located at 6916 East 30th Street. That is off of 30th and Shadeland. We sit off the corner of 30th and Shadeland.
And that's right there on the east side, of Far East side of Indianapolis. Very accessible. Right off of busy Shadeland or Post Road.
It's off of Shadeland. It's 30th and Shadeland. Yep.
Very busy road there, so you can access right there. Why His Place Eatery?
Well, actually, His Place refers to God, God's place. His Place was originally opened years ago by a husband and wife ministry team. And they started out as a soup kitchen, actually, and their goal was to try to raise money so that they could feed more people in the community. And then they were open for a couple months. They didn't really have any restaurant experience or food service experience. So, I would try to help them as much as I could. And then they closed it down, which gave my wife and I opportunity to buy it and reopen it. And we, wanted to open up a restaurant. I had like two legal pages of names, and His Place just made sense. It resonated with us. It resonated in our heart. So we left it His Place Eatery, and so it just kind of spoke with us. So that's how we are still His Place Eatery to this day.
So God had his hand in it, his place.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Once I tell people all the time, once I got out the way, it happened.
You know,
So,
Brother James, I think that's a profound statement. Once we discover that we are in the way of our own progress,
amen.
and we get out of the way and acknowledge that,
Yeah,
then God begins to move in our lives. And man, you're doing a great job.
thank you,
The food is very delectable, good. Let me just say it that way.
thank you, thank you.
It's real good. And I'm familiar with your family. How's your mom doing?
Mom's doing good. She's semi-retired. You know, for her that's good because you know she's always everywhere all the time. So she's doing really well. So family's doing good.
God bless you.
All right.
Tell us, Mr. Jones, how the pandemic has impacted your business and what you all are doing in this industry.
All right. Well, you know, the when the COVID thing hit us initially, I think it was just a shock, just like for everyone else. So that first week and a half or so, I think it was just kind of trying to get your bearings about yourself as far as what to do. And so, you know, we kind of just followed the recommendations of the governor and the mayor and just tried to make sure that we were on top of guidelines as far as safety and all of that. And, you know, just do what we can as far as a business and just move forward. In the beginning, it was basically just move forward. Everything was pretty much day to day, hour to hour as far as what was going on. And so, you know, as we've gotten further away from that first initial point back in March, we've kind of learned some things. And, you know, we really, really are just the community support has been unbelievable. So we've managed so far. So we're doing pretty well so far. So, you know, we're just, again, playing it day to day, week to week at this point.
And I think that's what we want to do here today, Pastor Jackson, is encourage small businesses all across the city of Indianapolis, Marion County, Central Indiana. I want to encourage, because small businesses are having a rough time even in COVID, but there have some that have been, you know, doing extremely well, such as his place. Because I think you already had a to-go system already in place, and it worked for you real well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, see, I believe that, you know, before the COVID thing hit, our business was probably about 60% carry out anyway, about 40% dine in. So we had a pretty efficient carry out business before the COVID hit. So when we had to go all carry out, it wasn't as much of a shock to the system for us. It was sort of just a little bit more ramping up what we were already doing and only doing the carry out portion. So I think that we were a little bit better position than maybe some other restaurants to meet the moment, as some might say. So, you know, we're just, again, just nothing that we had predicted or anything like that. We were just fortunate and blessed to be abreast of how to do carry out very efficiently. So.
Okay. Brother Jackson.
Outstanding. Tell us about the cuisine. Every restaurant has its particular thing that it does that people talk about most. What about His Place Eatery?
Well, at His Place Eatery, we are a full-scale soul food and full-scale barbecue restaurant. So what that means to us is that we do the full gamut of soul food, everything from fried chicken and fried fish to macaroni and cheese and collard greens. And then we do a full-scale barbecue from pulled pork, brisket, ribs and tips. We even smoke our meatloaf. So our goal is to provide an experience. We tell people all the time, you can go, there's thousands of places to go and eat. So our goal is to provide an experience that you can only get at His Place Eatery. So we want you to feel like that you're coming to dinner at our home on Sunday, and we're laying out the red carpet for you. So that's what we try to accomplish at His Place Eatery. We want you to feel welcome from start to finish. And we want the food to be as good as we can possibly make it. So.
Okay.
Now, as far as people ordering food, is this something that they can go online, or they have to make a phone call? Are you guys doing Grubhub and all the mobile folks that come pick the food up and deliver it? Kind of talk to us about those logistics.
We are doing carry out. You call the order in, and you can come in and pick it up, or you can order online through our own website. we actually stopped doing the delivery apps. The delivery apps, a lot of businesses face the issue with the delivery apps, and actually the end user doesn't really know all of the ins and outs of the delivery apps. But just a brief understanding, the delivery apps are really good for the end customer in terms of getting that food delivered at home. However, for the business, we lose 30% on that order every single time they go out the door. So for those delivery apps, although they're convenient, they really take a nice chunk out of the business itself. So if you are doing more delivery app business than you are carry out business itself, or just people coming in, then actually you're operating in a negative constantly. And so you have to kind of monitor how much you use those delivery apps. And we've just been fortunate enough that we're so busy with carry outs and just through our natural business that we've eliminated the use of those those delivery apps, because it's hard during the pandemic, especially. It's hard to operate when you have 30% margins going out the door every single time an order comes in, and it's just difficult to operate at that level if you're getting any type of real success from those carryout apps. And I know it's against what the general belief is for the carryout apps, because everybody likes it as a convenience. But from a business standpoint, they really take a nice chunk out of the business. So you have to kind of be careful and monitor when you use them and when you don't.
Well, that's what we call business savvy and survival. When you can look at some things and see, well, this is not going to be profitable for us to continue to run in this restaurant. But we got every order 30 cents going out the door every time, 30% going out the door every time. That hurts the business. Yeah, especially a small business like yours, which is effective, which is very much effective. And so that's a great business decision. All you got to do is just make sure if people want it, Brother Jackson, you and I know it, we're going to get it.
Oh yeah.
If we want it, we coming to get it, man. If the sweet potatoes are right, the collard greens are right, the fried chicken is right.
Yeah.
Everything, we coming to get it, man. We don't care how far we got to go get it. We're going to get it.
All right.
Well, we got to take a quick break. Speaking of going to get it, we got to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have more from His Place Eatery co-owner, Mr. James Jones. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we're joined today by co-owner of His Place Eatery, Mr. James Jones. Again, we want to thank you for joining us on today.
Well, thank you for having me. We certainly appreciate it. It's an honor to be with you guys. Such great pillars of the community. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and you're a pillar too. You make sure that the pillars stay fed. That's what it's all about.
I see that you have chef's coat on there, which also may mean that you're in the kitchen cooking up all these wonderful meals. Is that something that we're on point with?
Well, I am a trained chef, and I do some of the cooking. But when we started His Place Eatery, the goal was to be able to basically employ people and teach them how to do things appropriately. So we have systems in place where we have a prep team that does prep all of the sides, and then we have fry cooks that fry all the food. So we're pretty efficient as far as what we do, and so I don't have to get back there and cook every single day, every single hour. But I spend most of my day in the kitchen helping out as much as I can, making sure things run efficiently. And then we also have another chef that we have that helps out with that as well to make sure everything is going on. And then let's see, my wife, who thinks she's my boss, is there as well to kind of make sure. Yeah, I think we understand how that works. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Outstanding. How long have you been in this particular industry?
Let's see, His Place Eatery has been open a little bit over 11 years. We opened in March of 2009. Let's see, I've been in culinary for, 20 something odd years. I had a small catering business for years before we purchased His Place Eatery. So I've been in the culinary industry for years. But His Place Eatery itself has been open a little bit over 11 years now. So,
What's your hottest item?
ooh, man. Hottest item is probably chicken and waffles or fried catfish or our smoked meatloaf. Those are probably some of the top items that we sell.
Smoked meatloaf.
Yeah, we have a smoked meatloaf. It's a meatloaf has ground beef, ground pork, peppers, onions, and then we put pepper bacon over the top of it, and then we smoke it, and then we serve it in a sort of a sweet and tangy sauce. It's like a barbecue type sauce that we serve it with.
So, do you have neck bones on the menu?
No, we don't. We don't offer neck bones and things like that. We consider ourselves a little bit more contemporary soul food. So the neck bones and the liver and onions and things like that, we don't offer. But there are a lot of people, a lot of different restaurants in the community that offer them, and we can give you a recommendation. So
I thought that was cute. I have no intentions on doing liver and onions or neck bones or small bones.
that's a little bit too laborious for me, I tell you that.
What would you recommend when people come in? Is there a favorite dish that I'm sure everything is good, but what would be the signature meal that you would recommend?
If you're coming in His Place Eatery for the first time, I recommend people try things that you probably aren't going to find too many other places, such as our smoked meatloaf. We have a bourbon cream corn. It is a fried corn and a cream corn all mashed together with Parmesan cheese and some bourbon in it. Of course, the bourbon is cooked out of it, so you just get the essence of the bourbon flavor with it. So that's really unique. And then we do a really, really good catfish that I recommend, and our chicken and waffles are excellent. So those are some of the things. If you're coming in for the first time, those are the things that I would recommend you try.
That sounds pretty good. Because chicken and waffles became a sudden phenomenon within the last 7 to 8 years. Would you agree with that, Brother Chef?
Here in town, it's probably been a little more closer to that. It's actually had been around for years, of course. I think the first mention of chicken and waffles was back during the Harlem Renaissance time. I believe that's where it was generated from. And so again, it's been bubbling up around, down south and on the East Coast and West Coast, and then finally made its way here with a couple restaurants here in town. So pretty new here as far as years wise, but it's a pretty well established dish throughout the country though.
What's your favorite dessert that people like?
Man, the banana pudding. We do lots and lots of banana pudding, but we also have really good peach cobbler. We have what we call a sweet potato cheesecake that we do. We also have a red velvet brownie, and then we do a carrot cake as well.
That's phenomenal. Yeah.
Truly is His Place.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But we really want you to be successful, and we want people. And they're going to show some of your product and what you're doing with it here on TV 40. But man, we just want the community, man, to just come out and support you.
Thank you.
Do the best they can to support, not only on the east side, but all over town. If you can get to His Place, I'm pretty sure you're going to get a good meal. And if you can support him, that would be great. And that's what it's all about, supporting these small businesses here in Central Indiana, in Marion County, and even in the inner city. That's what it's all about. He can't survive unless we help him survive. He can't grow unless we help him grow. And so that's what it's really all about.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Your hours, and are you doing any dining at all?
We are doing probably about 50% of our capacity. Well, maybe even less than that, maybe around 45% of our capacity is dine-in. Our hours of operation, we are currently, due to COVID, we're closed on Mondays. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're open Friday, 11 to 8 p.m., Saturday, noon to 8 p.m., and Sunday, noon to 6 p.m.
All right, well, you've been a great guest. Thank you for sharing with us. Extend our regards to your co-owner.
All right.
wonderful wife, I'm sure. Thank you for joining us today.
All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys. And again, we appreciate all the support.
Tell Mom I said hello.
All right. I'll do that. Thanks a lot, Pastor.
Okay.
Back in a moment with the rundown. Welcome back. And Dr. Moore, we come to the end of our time for this show.
Yeah, we have, man, but it's been great to be with you today and to share. But most of all, man, to hear this young man being able to make it through COVID-19, keep his business afloat, and serve the community, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, amazing story. And we want to commend him as well as our sponsors, the Marion County Health Department.
And Fervent Care Christian Academy. Not only that, we want to also Isles Modern Clothing and Shoes and Lee Castle and Crawley for sponsoring Real People, Real Voices.
And hopefully we'll be able to say His Place Eatery soon.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to say that. And I think we need to do a trial run to make sure that he needs to just set up a table and just put all of the menu out there for us just to go through it and see if he can qualify to be a sponsor.
We might be able to do a show from there and
Yeah.
just do some sampling of.
That's right. We need to go out and do that at his place. Take our friend Jeff with us so he can eat a little bit of that meatloaf.
So it's been a great show today, and we want to encourage you all to go to YouTube, WHMD TV 40, and watch this show when it's over, as well as others that you might have missed. Also, please don't forget to go to
Like us on Facebook, Brother Jackson. Like us on Facebook. That's what it's all about.
Excited to be with you all on this evening. That's going to wrap it up for our show on today. We'll see you next time.